one of those things. I've always known it, but it just, I needed that opportunity to show the rest of the world that I am the world champion. And luckily I was able to do that. So now myself and the world gets to know and gets to call me world champion. In 2010, that was the moment to where my collegiate career in wrestling was over and I was looking for the next step. And the next step at that point was chase the Olympic dream. So I went to the Olympic Training Center. I lived there for 2 years training for the 2012 Olympics. But while training for the 2012 Olympics, I ran into the sport of mixed martial arts. And that was a sport that was kind of infectious enough to steal me away and just kind of take my motivation away from wrestling into mixed martial arts. And once I decided to make that switch in 2012, I don't do anything half step. It was all or nothing. I said at that moment I was going to be world champion, and I did everything it took to become world champion. Fighting against Tyron Woodley, I had a hernia coming into the fight, I had a broken foot going into the fight. But this was my moment. This was the opportunity that I've been waiting for since 2012 when I made that decision. And nothing was going to stop me. So broken foot, broken hand, broken back, broken neck, nothing was going to stop me. I was gonna be world champion that night, and God willing, everything went according to plan. Growing up in Nigeria, yeah, we left at a very young age, but we left after that time of attachment. Growing up at that age, 4, 5, 6, 7, those are the important ages for a child, because that's where you really get that solid foundation. And that foundation was made. And also being raised by both Nigerian parents, it was easy to continue that tradition because they were rooted very deeply into those culture and that tradition. So it's very easy to continue to feed that into your kids. And they did. They raised us, even though we grew up here, we still had that deep affection. We had that deep love to be able to make our country proud, to hold our heritage in high regards. So yeah, it was long enough to make that solid bond in my heart. Yes, everyone's aware that I speak Pidgin, and being myself, having the platform that I have now, yes, I'm a big, it's not a responsibility that you ask for, it's just a responsibility that you're given. And I'm a big influence now. I mean, people tell me that all the time. I get messages, I get different fan mail of people just letting us know that, hey, you letting me know that you're doing it for us. You're giving us that motivation. You're influencing us. You're letting us know that this can be done as a Nigerian coming from humble beginnings. This can be done. Yes, there's a lot of lessons from Nigeria that are helping me right now in my life. I mean, as I mentioned, yes, growing up in Nigeria, even though I wasn't there for the latter part of my life, that solid attachment was there. Those virtues and that sense of culture, that sense of responsibility has been instilled in me to where no matter what, no matter how old I get, I can't shake that. It's a responsibility that's on my back that I personally carry with me. So yeah, there's some big lessons that I've learned that are helping to shape me into the man that I am today. My daughter, the bond with her it's a special bond because I was a dad who I wanted boys. If I'm gonna have kids, when I'm gonna have kids, I want boys. Boys, that's it. And when I found out it was a girl, I was a little down. I was, oh man, it's a girl, but I accepted it. And it wasn't until she was 6 months old, that was the time where I could take her to the gym with me. And I got about a month of taking her to the gym with me, and she would sit there right on the mat and watch me train 2 hours, 3 hours, just watch me train. And then I had the opportunity to do The Ultimate Fighter, which was a TV show that I was on for about 5-6 weeks. And I had no contact with the outside world, no contact with them at all. And I came back. This was my daughter. Every time I walk in the room, her eyes are on me. She's smiling big when I'm there. But when I saw her that after being gone for about 5 weeks, she wouldn't look at me. she would turn away, and I could just wasn't happy. I just saw the look on her face, and I could just tell that she was unhappy. And this was 7, 8 months old. I could tell she was unhappy because she hasn't seen this guy. I grew up looking at this guy every day, and now I haven't seen this guy for 5 weeks. And in my mind, it was just like my daughter was probably at home every day. Where's that guy? Where's this man that I see every day? And the fact that she couldn't see me, it was starting to rub her the wrong way. And so it was a feeling that I couldn't help it. I cried at that moment because my daughter was wondering, where's daddy? And daddy wasn't there. So it just let me know that I had such a special bond with this girl, and you know, I vowed I would never let that girl go. I've been planning a trip to Nigeria, but unfortunately in my last fight I suffered some pretty brutal injuries, which I had surgeries right after, and I needed to do some physical therapy to make sure that I was able to get back to competing and get back to training, because right now I'm unable to train still. So that's kind of putting a hold on everything that I've been working on there. And with my management team, we've been working on some very, very good project to be able to go out there and really make where I'm from a better place than when I left it. So we've got some important things coming. Everyone needs to stay tuned for those things. Were there moments I thought of not going into this combat sport? Absolutely. The first couple of years were tough because nobody's used to getting punched in the face. Nobody's used to getting beat up and kicked and hurt. And I had to kind of make friends with that feeling. I had to basically let myself know that it's okay. This is what I'm gonna do. It's okay for me to feel this way now, because in the future I'm gonna be making people feel this way. So yeah, there were definitely moments all the time. Even now I still have moments to where I'm like, I don't know if this is what I want to do. Absolutely. With the Nigerian now, the culture just now starting to brew, and they starting to kind of realize that it's not just wrestling. We've got other things that we can go into as well. Oh yeah, I believe now we will see just an endless supply of Nigerians starting to flood into the UFC. I mean, since I've been in there, we've got, I think at this moment now we have 5 Nigerians already in the UFC, and I know at least 2 or 3 more that are on the cusp of getting signed by the UFC. So yeah, I would say in the next couple of years, there will be a surplus of Nigerians in the UFC. Yes, there's a huge possibility that, you could see me fighting in Nigeria. Now we have 2 champions. I mean, it's only a matter of time before the UFC decides to break ground in Nigeria. And of course, the goal is always to blaze the trail for endless Nigerians to be able to follow and come in there and really take it to another level. So yeah, in the future, that's something that we're looking at, to have academies and schools everywhere to be able to groom the next generations.